The purpose of this presentation is to document my educational technology internship through Loyola University, Maryland. My name is Crystal Shub and I am a second grade teacher at Forest Knolls Elementary School in Silver Spring, Maryland. I had many objectives for my educational technology internship. Firstly, I wanted to successfully lead the UDL and Technology Committee. I wanted to work together with my colleagues collaboratively to support our students, staff, and parents. I also wanted to provide staff with different learning opportunities to be able to benefit their teaching and their students' learning. In doing so, I wanted to provide them with various resources and overall establish myself as a technology leader that staff can turn to support them in their school setting. My first step in my educational technology internship was to establish myself as a technology leader. I wanted to express to staff that our goal was to, as a technology committee, build a shared narrative of how we would support one another at our school. One way that I wanted to provide support for staff was by implementing Tech Thursdays. Tech Thursdays were held on the final Thursday of the month from 3:45 to 4:30 in the computer lab. My goal was to introduce staff to various resources and to provide them with enough time to be able to explore and ask questions about those resources with me as the technology leader being present. I also carved out the last 15 minutes for any general tech questions because oftentimes teachers feel like they don't have enough time, so that provided them with an opportunity to get help wherever they needed it. In order to provide the best support for staff, I wanted to get to know them better. To do that, I asked them to fill out a technology questionnaire which asked about their comfortability with technology, different things they wanted to learn, what their goals were, and this really helped to guide my support for them throughout the year. Some of the findings of this questionnaire showed that many of our teachers at our school, almost 50%, use it daily and feel very proficient. But there are still the other 50% that use it occasionally and some that feel like they're open to new experiences but aren't very experienced with technology. The committee I led this year was the UDL/Technology Committee, so I also incorporated a question about staff's understanding of the universal design for learning. Half of the staff said they felt familiar, but they'd like a refresher. A third of the staff felt very knowledgeable about UDL, and the rest of the staff felt like they didn't know much about UDL at all. This information was super helpful as we worked together as a committee to provide opportunities to support our staff with UDL and technology. Other parts of the questionnaire asked about staff's feelings about students using technology, different things they felt like they were an expert on, the most useful resources, technology needs, what they wanted to accomplish and learn about this year, as well as how we could improve technology at Forest Knolls. My role as the UDL/Tech Committee Chair was to organize the meetings, create a shared collaborative space, create agendas, facilitate the objectives of our meetings, assign roles for committee members, determine the follow-up and plan for future meetings, as well as collaborating with administration so that the different things we planned for in our committee were carried out for the rest of our staff to provide them with the best support that we could. Before leading the UDL and Technology Committee, I wanted to express to the different committee members that we were working as a team creating a shared narrative to support our students, staff, and parents with technology and universal design for learning principles and guidelines. In our committee meetings, we assessed our staff needs with a questionnaire and were able to design differentiated learning opportunities to provide choice sessions for staff. We also designed ways to support parents by planning the technology PTA meetings, extending learning at home, and providing troubleshooting opportunities for parents if they need help with technology while they're at home. Finally, we used the Universal Design for Learning Principles and Guidelines to find resources to support students at all grade levels, identify how these resources can transform instruction, and providing engaging opportunities for students to enhance the learning process. As previously mentioned, I held Tech Thursdays on the final Thursday of each month to identify just-in-time technology resources for staff. Some examples of resources that I shared with staff are Nearpod, Symbaloo, Plickers, and Kahoot. By providing staff with information as well as an opportunity to explore, I was able to guide them and support them to find ways to apply that immediately to their teaching and their students' learning. Time was an obstacle for many staff this year for attending Tech Thursdays, but I would always post the presentations to our private folder so that staff that weren't able to attend could still experience the different resources that I was presenting. Also, it provided supplemental learning opportunities in the final slides of the presentation to extend the learning for the participants as well as those who were learning about the resources after the meeting. Here's an example of me teaching about Plickers in the computer lab during one of our Tech Thursdays. As a technology leader at our school, I also presented at a PTA meeting on technology resources to support parents and students from home. The staff learning opportunity that we created as a technology and UDL committee was guided by the information we were given on the technology and UDL questionnaire from the beginning of the year. As a team, we worked together to develop the main points for the UDL refresher, identifying the UDL guidelines and principles, providing explicit examples, and demonstrating incorporation of UDL at our school. It was important to us as a committee to shout out the different staff who were doing a fantastic job already implementing the UDL guidelines in their teaching. We used different videos and pictures as we went around for peer observations of UDL in the classroom. This helped to engage our staff as well as our administration as they continued the UDL Spotlight in our weekly newsletter. We also wanted to continue to provide resources and insight into how to incorporate UDL into teaching in our classrooms. We as a UDL committee created a once-a-month newsletter to identify ways for no-tech, low-tech, and high-tech for reading and math for kindergarten through second grade, as well as third grade through fifth grade. To ensure that our participants learned about UDL, we provided them with a closure activity where they would collaborate with their table to identify examples and non-examples of UDL implementation in a classroom. At the end of our training, we provided supplemental learning opportunities with videos and TED Talks to further support teachers' understanding of UDL and how to incorporate those resources in their teaching. As a leader, it's very important to be flexible. As a technology leader, I was presented with a task of helping our staff development teacher create a new transportation system. Initially, this was not a part of my proposal for my internship, but I was more than happy to work together to create a system for our previous system that was no longer supported. We worked together to utilize Google Forms and Google Sheets to create a transportation system in English and in Spanish, which asked parents about their child's dismissal, and we can organize it and export it in Google Sheets to provide copies for teachers so that their students are dismissed safely and responsibly. With over 800 students at our school, it's very important that they are all sent home safely, and by creating this new transportation system, we can ensure that. During my educational technology internship, I met many of the 18 key concepts. One of the first key concepts that I met was Key Concept 1, Student-Centered Learning. I addressed Key Concept 1.1, where I was able to design meaningful activities and learning experiences that incorporated the guiding principles of UDL. By working together with my technology and UDL committee, we were able to design learning opportunities for staff to incorporate appropriate technology tools and resources that aligned with UDL to enhance teaching and learning. I was also able to meet Key Concept 4, Communication Skills. Key Concept 4.2 discusses the candidate's ability to use technology to collaborate with colleagues. I created a shared Google Drive folder for each of our technology committee meetings for the school year so that I could put in our agenda and any supplemental resources that would help guide our collaborative planning for technology and UDL at our school. I addressed Key Concept 8 Models and Theories of Change, specifically Key Concept 8.2, in my technology internship proposal. My proposed ideas for implementing technology and supporting my staff utilize the different theories of change, Eli's 8 conditions of change, as well as Surrey's attributes. I addressed Key Concept 11, Staff Development, specifically Key Concept 11.1, where I was able to apply models of staff development to begin the process of real change in a school. By incorporating a technology questionnaire, I was able to gather information about our staff to provide the best support needed to incorporate the models of staff development in creating change at a school. Finally, Key Concept 18, Educational Technology Resources 18.1, was addressed by my implementation of Tech Thursdays, where I was able to locate a variety of technology resources. I was able to evaluate them, and then by incorporating a presentation and exploration time, I was able to assist my colleagues with this process. At the end of my internship, I wanted to put out another questionnaire similar to the one in the beginning as a follow-up for staff for identifying their growth this year and any other needs that they have so that next year as a technology leader, I can continue to support staff and provide them with different resources and opportunities for professional learning. What I've discovered in analyzing the follow-up survey was that staff felt more proficient with technology. In the beginning, in the fall, staff didn't feel super confident with technology in the classroom, and now more than half of staff feel that they use it and they feel very proficient. Another discovery made by the staff follow-up survey was that staff have a better understanding of UDL. In the fall, not many staff felt as if they had a true understanding of UDL. Fast forward to spring 2017, only a very small percentage of staff feel like they don't know much about UDL. Most of our staff feel familiar and knowledgeable, and more than half of our staff feel super knowledgeable about UDL. As a part of the survey, I wanted to ask staff about the different barriers that they have from using technology in the classroom. I also wanted to know about what technologies they've explored that year and how it went. This information was very helpful for me as I can continue to design learning opportunities for staff in the following years. I also assessed how many staff attended a Tech Thursday this year. Unfortunately, only 32% of our staff attended a Tech Thursday, and 67% of our staff did not. Most people that I talked with, and I actually had it as a part of the survey, mentioned that time was a big constraint for them. Some people had kids, some people had class, and having a face-to-face meeting was just very difficult for them even once a month to attend. However, I still wanted to be able to provide learning opportunities for those folks who could not attend the meetings but really wanted to learn more about technology. Besides making myself available for one-on-one sessions, I would post the Tech Thursday presentations to our private folder. I asked staff how many viewed the presentations materials, and many staff said, 64% of staff said that yes, they did view those presentation materials, so that was definitely a good choice in being able to support staff even if they couldn't be at the meeting. Finally, we asked staff about their thoughts on the UDL newsletter and its impact. Many staff felt like the UDL newsletter was somewhat or very helpful. There was a very small percentage that felt like it was unhelpful, and as a technology and UDL committee, we will use this information to go back and revise how we can make the UDL newsletter more impactful or changing it in some way to make it more beneficial for staff and students alike. During our last UDL and Technology Committee meeting, we had a reflection time where we identified pluses and deltas of our first year of our Technology and UDL Committee, and then we brainstormed some ideas for next year. In reflecting on my impact as a technology leader, I felt like my internship was a success. I was able to share various resources through Tech Thursdays, make myself available for staff at any time, leading the UDL and Technology Committee. I collaborated with different committee members, provided staff, students, and peers with report, and incorporated new technologies with my students to enhance teaching and learning. One of the biggest issues I faced during this internship was time. Everything was very time-consuming, but it was very beneficial for everyone involved. Unfortunately, some staff were unable to attend Tech Thursdays or supplemental learning opportunities because they had their own time constraints. So, in evaluating the staff questionnaire, I will be able to design different times and different methods for engaging staff and working with them to benefit their students by enhancing their teaching and their students' learning. My next step as a technology leader is to continue to lead the Forest Knolls UDL and Technology Committee, collaborate with staff to support one another, locate and evaluate useful resources to share with staff, use reflection and surveys to tweak and enhance supports for the future, engage in my PLN to collaborate outside school walls, and continue to be a lifelong learner. Thank you for taking the time to view my presentation on my educational technology internship.